So yeah, I just choked a sub 20 run. Could have been this is a recording of it. This run is completely. It's probably could have been even like sub 16 if I played it perfectly. So I spawn in, see this ruined portal, and I'm wondering if it's completable, and I see that village. So I get a lot of obby, so I'm like, alright, it's probably completable. I don't see any crying obby, so I don't grab that hoe for some reason for the hay bales. A little bit of a time save. Uh, so I have this sword, and so I decide, you know what, I can just kill the golem first, and then get all my iron, and then I can do COD strats. So I'm looking for the golem. I'm grabbing my 2 logs so I can, make my stone tools. Something else about this run, it's the nether is just weird, and I'm an idiot for a little bit of it. But then I choke it really hard in the end. So I'm building up, killing the golem, and the golem actually drops me 5. What that means is it means I don't even have to do COD strats, because from the chest uh, I got enough for an extra iron, meaning I have 6, and along with that flint and steel means that I have enough for my bucket and my iron pick. So I make an iron pick here, and then here's like where I realize like, hey, I don't have to do COD strats, which is nice. My pickaxe was in the wrong slot. Yeah, and I don't grab any beds from this village also, which a little bit of a time loss because I do end up going back for beds. For a singular bed because yeah, I felt more comfortable. I kind of low rolled on string. So uh, what else? Yeah, I call this a choke because I've had a lot of runs on sub 20 pace, but the blind kind of sucked. But this one I didn't blind I did educated, and you'll see how awfully I choke this. It's awful. I hate it. I just I need water here, so I go to that ruined portal now. Grab those 2 blocks. Mess with my left hand and all. Yeah. The only time I can really recall choking a sub 20 is when I my current PB 2029. I entered the end at 1710, I believe, and I just and I could and for some reason I did east west perch instead of north south, so probably could have been sub 20. Had a long dragon also. So I spawn in, I turn down my render distance, I see that fortress immediately. So that means I check my quadrant also. So I'm looking for a bastion right now. So I decided to go that way because of the quadrant system, and plus that just seems like the logical way to go. So I go over here first just to see if I can see anything. I'm like, no, all right, let's go this way. Blaze shoots at me. So I'm trying to find a bastion right now. I don't really, but actually right now I think I'm considering doing classic trades since I did have the 18 gold. So I was thinking about maybe using that gold to see if I can get some pearls from any piglins. So I'm looking for either of those 2 things. I'm either looking for piglins or a bastion. And I think I see some piglins over here. I don't actually. I'm just going through here. I consider getting that mushroom, but I'm like, no, this is village strats. I have bread. Normally I don't do village strats. Normally I do either cave strats or ocean strats, like monument. Yeah, so I'm not really used to villages, or I am really, but I'd rather do different types of strats. But bread is one of the few upsides. What makes this run really good is the entry. This is still 3 minutes 30 seconds right now. I entered sub 230, so this pace is actually pretty good, even with me taking a long time to get into a bastion. So I'm building up here, and so right now I'm honestly just hoping for some piglins because I'm like, all right, I don't really see a bastion anywhere. Doesn't look like there can be a bastion. I'm just gonna see if I can find some pigs. So I'm looking around, do my planar thog thing. I'm not seeing any bastions. And if you're astute, you can heard that in a Carl Joss video. Astute. Anyway, what's it called? Yeah, you saw that to my right there. That's a bastion. So I don't see it though. I'm looking and I'm like, I can't find anything here. I think I get a glimpse of it again. I do, and then that's when I notice it. You can see in my movement there. I realize that that's a bastion. I fall here like an idiot. I'm going through here. Decide to make my gold helmet. I don't have any lava at this point either, which is a problem in case there's piglins or hoglins that cause me any trouble. So I also need to eat, so I'm bridging over there. I don't speed bridge because there's lava beneath me, and I'm bad at speed bridging. 4 minutes 45 seconds right now, which is still great pace, especially when I'm knowing where a fortress is. So I'm going through here, I'm like, what is it, and I'm pretty sure it's a bridge right now. And then I see that like lava spill right there, and I'm like, alright, I'm 100% sure it's a bridge. So I need to get down to where the bridge area is. I see that's where, I see that this is where it is. I'm looking for hoglins right now, since I don't have any lava bucket. So I don't see any hoglins, and actually there weren't any hoglins, which was really good. So when I mine this gold, I know these dudes are going to get mad at me, and they're both bows, so I just throw down some gold to distract them so they don't, you know, shoot at me while I'm getting the gold. So I'm mining this gold. I don't grab all 16 blocks because it's really unnecessary, because I did already have the 18 gold, and it just, you know, it's pretty much overkill. Either piglins aren't going to have enough time to trade it in the first place. So I keep a block because I'm doing dip method, grab some blocks. Some netherite so I can do the thing. Grab the fire res. They're still shooting at me. I throw some gold so they don't get mad at me. And I already got a string trade, which I'm really hype about, so I didn't grab any beds. Turn my render distance down back to normal. You know, standard dip route. Bridge is actually probably my favorite bastion, just because the route's so consistent. And I'm out of this bastion pretty fast, I'd say. This is like maybe a 2-minute 10-second bastion. You know, it's pretty good. So I'm getting all my piglins, throwing on my gold. Dead. Half that again. I see two sword pigs coming at me, which are awful. So I distract them. They both fall in. So now I'm like, alright, I need to get these chests. So immediately I go back in there. See how many trades I got, and I got a lot of trades immediately. Down here, I see that's going to be too hard to get. Might as well just go to the other side. Bridge over. This other side's triple chest. Again, I still don't have lava. Like, I think that dude's kind of trying to aggro at me, but it doesn't. I realize I still have 30 gold. I grab the helmet because I normally make boots, since I normally mine gold, and I just get like 36 nuggets. So I can make boots, but I realized I made a helmet. So I get that. I get more pearl trades. I throw the gold in there, and I'm like, alright, I want one more string trade. Because right now I'm thinking I get it right there. So right now I'm thinking, alright, I can leave. So I don't make my stuff like I was a secret, which I could have made. Get the boots, then I'm out of here at like 7 minutes 30 seconds, I'd say. You know, pretty good pace, especially since I know where a fortress is. So yeah, I'm trying to remember where I came from. This area looked familiar. So yeah, I still don't have lava. Probably should have grabbed some from that bridge bastion. But yeah, this is a pretty good pace for me normally when you're just going for sub 20. So I'm like, alright, this terrain looks unfamiliar. How did I get up here? But I realize it's probably this direction. And so I'm like, alright, it's probably here somewhere. And then I see it after this thing. Pearl over there. I look at my pearl count. I've got a lot, so I can spare it. This is technically world record pace, you know, just casually. So I go through here. I'm trying to find a spawner. Dead ends. I kill these two blazes. Pretty standard stuff. I think I go through this entire nether without grabbing a lava bucket. Got lots of fire res, and I think I turned my game mode to easy around here. It's not really something I normally do. I normally just play on normal because I don't know, it's a time save. I don't like having to, you know, I just like being able to create worlds. So I see that blaze spawner. I do this thing where I make it so that there's only a 2-block gap, so I can go through it. The skeletons can't because they're 3 blocks. Actually, they might be 2.5 blocks tall, but they just can't go through that gap. So I start mining the thing. There's piglins here, which are kind of annoying but kind of helpful since you can use them to dodge to dodge blazes fireballs, but not really necessary because I have fire res. My blaze rods right now are pretty decent. I get a lot of blaze rods. I think I get 9 blaze rods. I'm debating. I'm like, do I really need anchors if I'm gonna have 5 beds? And so right now I'm like, all right, my portal is right near here. I could do educated. So something to note about me is personal. I hate doing educated. I just don't feel right doing it. I know it's like better if I'm going for sub 20, but like I want a good sub 20. I don't want like a 1952 or something like that. I want like I don't want to just be barely sub 20. So I'm like, all right, I don't really want to do educated because educated is just, I just don't like doing it. But I do end up doing it because I'm like, all right, this is so good pace. I could do it and just, be sure to get a sub 20. So I'm waiting for blaze spawns again. Pretty boring. I look at my chords right now, and another thing that pushes me to do educated is because these chords are pretty bad. Um, they could definitely be better. So I got 5 blaze shards right now. Normally I go for 7. I probably would have left with 6. Actually, I'm not sure what I would have left with. But normally I go for 7 because, it's not that long. And so 3 blazes spawn. Alright, please give me all my rods. And I think all of them drop rods, actually. Yeah, they do. So I'm like 8. This is perfect. I might go through here. So now I'm like, alright, yeah, I'm doing educated. So I go back to my portal. Recognize this way. I go right here. And I see a wither skeleton. So I do the same strat. I block it off. So we can't. I'm very safe. This is probably a time race, but I was just wanting to play it safe. This is 11 minutes right now. Great pace. So I kill this wither skeleton. I probably could have done this for both. And then I also kill this blaze. He gives me another rod. So I have 9 rods right now. I pearl back to my portal. I have 9 rods right now, which is absolutely insane. Which for rods, I'd leave with 6. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna have to worry about my eyes breaking. So I make my things, and I'm like, all right, well, I really want a 6th bed because right now I have enough for 5 beds, which I practice with 5 beds, and I'm pretty comfortable doing it, but I just wanted to be safe. So this is a pretty major time loss actually. I probably could have done it a lot faster. I probably wasted like 30 seconds grabbing an extra bed, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it with 5. I can normally do it with 5, but I just can't really. Or I can't really under pressure. Under pressure, I suck at one cycling. So I'm grabbing some logs for my beds and heading out right now. Pearl back because I don't have like insane amount of pearls, but I have enough. So and I'm like, all right, well I'm getting aim botted right now by the skeleton. I'm like, all right, I'm at 1 heart. Let's just not die. So I dig. I'm like, all right, just don't no creeper come in here. And so I sleep down here. I like sleeping when I get out of the nether because I'm bad, honestly. So I sleep just to make sure I don't die. If I wasn't doing if this was random travel, I probably wouldn't have done that. So I throw my eye, and here's the throw. So I check the angle of the eye. I'm like, all right, it's around like -160, -166. So I go back here, and I note that this is like my first time doing educated ever. So I'm like, all right, where do I go? Oh, it's this way. And so I'm like an idiot. Instead of -166, I go +166, which is it's not the complete opposite direction like you'd think it was, because it works around like 180s and whatnot. So how many degrees off? 160. I'm around like 30, 40 degrees off, which makes this blind trap not awful, but right now I'm like 30. I'd say 30 degrees off. So there's a Soul Sand Valley up there. I checked the blind after this. It was 600 blocks, all ocean travel, exposed portal room. So and also it's easier terrain, so I didn't have to do this pearl if I went to the other one. So I look at my chords. I realize, all right, I can probably just build it here. So I probably would have blind traveled to the other spot around this time too, and it would have been 600 blocks, ocean exposed portal room, all ocean travel, and I did have enough for the boat, but I end up in this swamp, and so I'm actually happy that I'm ending up in this swamp. So I see there. I don't really know about like their coordinates going up or down. I don't know if it's far or not because of that. So I'm debating whether or not to grab this eye. I'm like, do I really want to grab it because I've 9 rods? I do grab it though, so I'm heading this way. I want to get out of the swamp. So my thought process right now is, hey, if strongholds can't spawn in swamps, so I'm thinking, hey, if I get to the edge of the swamp, there's a chance that the world generation. I also grab water there. There's a chance that the world generation kind of just pushed it to the side of the pushed. I do some inventory management. Yeah, there's a chance that it just pushed it to the side of the swamp. So 14 minutes 34 seconds. I'm thinking, all right, the stronghold's really close, so this is good pace. So I throw an eye here, and it keeps going that way. So I didn't go off my angle a lot, so I still don't know, and it breaks, which I have 9 rods. Like, that's I do not care at this point. I end up throwing a lot of eyes because I think it's really close. So I'm like, all right, we're still going this way. And at this point, I'm like, all right, it's 100% going to go back because I think I'm close. And it doesn't. It goes that way. And I also think that it's really close this way. So, because I thought it changed a lot, it didn't. It was just me because my perspective was off because I curled. So I think I turn on, yeah, I turn on chunk borders here because I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to start doing my triangulation because I think it's really close. I think I'm probably like maybe 50 blocks away. Goes that way again. I'm like, all right. Doesn't snap. I get it. So I go to the side a little bit here. Not far. So I think it's right around here. So I'm like, all right, well, time to go to the side. I think I can go to that birch tree. Or no, I don't. And it goes that way. I'm like, what? Is it like really far away? So I pearl again. Or I don't pearl actually. I know, because right now I'm kind of iffy on pearls since I did pearl a lot to make that educated. Another perk of blind travel is you don't waste pearls. So accidentally hit my chat thing there. I do that again and I'm like, what? It's still this way? So I throw a lot of pearls. Actually, I probably throw like 10 eyes because I just think it's so close. I still have my trink borders on because I'm like, all right, there's no way it's this far because I choked on the angle like an idiot because I thought it was. I didn't look at the negative positive sign. I just looked at the 166. Had I not choked it, it would have been. I said this before: 600 block blind travel, ocean exposed, stronghold, ocean travel. If I had done that, it easily would have been sub 20. I would probably be in the end by now. If it were, actually, I probably would have been in the end probably like 30 seconds ago. Probably would have been 18xx or even 17xs if I got a fast dragon perch. But instead, I'm an idiot and I decided to mess up the angle. And so right now I'm pissed. I'm like, what? This has no chance of sub 20 anymore. It has like a little bit of a chance if the stronghold's really nearby. But I'm thinking right now, I'm like, I can't believe I just choked another sub 20. Because I've only choked one other sub 20, and that was when I died in a bridge bastion. Not bridge bastion, sorry, a stables bastion. It was good gap, but I was trying to do Raynex's new manhunt route, and I died. And then there was a fortress nearby. I checked the blind. It was, I think, like 400 blocks. And also my PB is technically a choke because I did east west. So I see this ocean right here. I'm like, all right, this has like this sliver of a chance to sub 20 if I get a super fast dragon, and it's just ocean exposed directly on this thing. So I'm like, all right, I have to craft a boat as well. But first, before I craft a boat, I throw another eye, and it goes out to the ocean. I'm like, how far is this blind travel? I probably traveled, I think probably like 800 blocks right now. And then I make my boat here. I have exactly enough for a boat, but also I only have one bread because I had 20. I ate a lot because I was in the Soul Sand Valley and I kept getting destroyed by skellies. So yeah, I boat out. I think, yeah, I turn off trunk borders right now because I'm like, all right, it's far. So I'm looking down this ravine. I'm trying to find the stronghold. I'm like, all right, well, it's 1830. This is pretty much dead. Like, it, unless the stronghold is just actually the stronghold is really close right now, except it's still dead though. I probably would have entered the end around like 1930. Yeah, I'm pause recording right now. So right after this, I reset because I'm like, all right, this is absolutely stupid. That ravine right there, that's actually the stronghold. That ruined portal. Actually, I checked afterwards. The netherrack actually goes down into the portal room. Like you can see if you enter the portal room, you can actually see the netherrack, which is pretty cool. But I reset after this. That in that ravine, you could have seen the portal room or the ocean exposed stronghold. But still, it still wouldn't have been sub 20 because it's 1846. Um, Probably would have entered the end around like 1930ish. Yeah, I look at the stronghold there, or I don't actually, or yeah, the recording just resets. But yeah, it still wouldn't have been sub 20 because unless I added like a sub 30-second dragon, which is impossible. But yeah, another choke sub 20 run. I've been grinding recently, so hopefully I get a sub 20 soon. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it.